Hey guys, do you struggle printing white? Do you make a mess no matter what you do, or have to print over and over again until it feels bulletproof? Stay tuned after this break and learn how you too can make better whites. Welcome back. I'm Matt with Second City Prints here at M&R to discuss the 3 pro tips to printing a better white. The first one we're going to talk about today is mesh selection. So which mesh you choose to print with and how it affects your white ink. Today I'm going to print with a 156 mesh and compare it to a 305 mesh. Now normally a 305 mesh would be a little higher and you might print on a manual press, but it's good to see the difference. So my 156 mesh is a lower mesh count. It's going to have more openings, allowing for more ink to go through onto the substrate. So let's see what this looks like. Print and clear pass. Looks great. The mesh we chose allows for tight edges. We're not losing any information on the side of the print, and it's fully covered and cleared. Now if I was to flash this and add another layer on top of it, it would be a very vibrant white. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and flash that and compare it to a print on a 305. Take the squeegee. Now the 305 has a lot more openings, so they're a lot smaller. It's going to constrict the flow of the ink. So let's see what it looks like when I clear this one. You can even feel how hard it is to clear it because the holes are much smaller. So in comparison, side by side, this one is very dull. This might be okay for a vintage effect or even as a vintage underbase for another print, but not going to be an optically vibrant white. So not ideal to use. So going out of the mesh selection, our second step would be EOM, which stands for emulsion over mesh. What that stands for is how thick the emulsion is over the mesh you've chosen. So that's done when you're coating your screens. You may have heard people say, I coat 1/1, a 2/1. Everyone has their own technique. What really matters is how thick you're getting your stencil over your mesh.
How thick you're getting your stencil over your mesh.
So if your mesh is this big, you want to build up your stencil to cover both sides. The thicker that stencil, the more ink will go into it, the more ink will flow and build a vertical stack onto your shirt. So emulsion over mesh and make sure you've got a good coating of your emulsion makes a big difference in your white ink as well. Okay, pro tip 3 is going to be off contact. Off contact is important to make sure the space between the mesh and your garment are a good distance. I recommend about a nickel's thickness to 2 nickels stacked on each other's thickness off of whatever garment you're printing. This allows for a good peel rate. That's important because as the squeegee goes, the screen will peel off. The better it peels off, the smoother the print will be, and the more vibrant your print's going to be as well. A few pro tips you can also do now without changing too much is you can look at purchasing thin thread mesh. Thinner thread mesh will allow for a larger opening while still maintaining your mesh count, which will lead to a better horizontal stack of white before having to stack it vertically and making it too thick. Also, keeping your white inks blended with a drill tip or an M&R turnabout is a great way to keep the ink flowing. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Please make sure to leave comments below and follow the page for more videos. Great thanks and happy printing.